Hello guys, this is Sandra here. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. It's lovely to have you here and I hope you're gonna enjoy your stay. So as you can see, I already have my eye makeup on and I just thought it's gonna be quicker this way, but I'm gonna talk you through what I have on my eyes. But basically we're gonna talk about a topic that's quite, around at the moment, and it's wearing face masks. Now if you go out, please wear it. Now obviously it depends where you live. I live in the UK and whenever we go into a shop we're gonna wear it. If we're in the US, especially in an area where it's quite, coronavirus is quite present, please just wear it. It's okay. And when it comes to wearing a mask, if you're a makeup lover like I am, you're wondering,
okay, should I wear makeup? Should I not wear makeup? What are you gonna do?
And it's up to you. If you want to wear makeup, go for it. If you don't want to wear makeup, that's completely fine too. Like if I'm just gonna pop to the shop, I'm not gonna wear makeup. I'm just gonna wear this and I'm done. But if you want to wear makeup, I want to help you and give you a few pointers just so it makes it a little bit easier. So what I recommend as a first step is, get the mask that you're wearing. Now I just bought this today. It comes in a pack of 3 and I bought it in Boots. It's a brand Nike, N-E-Q-I. I don't really know a lot about this brand, but I just came across it in Boots. It comes in a pack of 3 for £15 and it's 3 layers, so you don't need any additional layer. It's super soft, you can machine wash it, and it comes in a pretty rose pink color, but they also have black and it comes in different sizes. So I have the women's small to medium. And what I recommend first is take your mask and put it on to see what areas it covers, because they're all different shapes. So with mine, it comes up quite high, but I see that this is the area what I'm gonna see. So if I want to put a bit of a highlighter on, this is a good area to place it because I'm gonna see it all. There's not much point in putting a lot of product in this area because it's all gonna be covered. Maybe a little bit of bronzer in this area because again you can see that, up to you. It gives me lovely ears as well. But anyway, I just, different masks might cover slightly different portions of the face, so it's good to put it on before you put on makeup. Now also I would say it depends what you're doing. You might want to, put on a different kind of makeup. I always say that with this, it's a good idea to play up your eyes. It doesn't have to be dark. Like you can see, mine is quite pinky, but it's because that's the only part of the face you see. If you want, it's easy to play up. For my brows, I only use the Wet n Wild Mega Clear Brow and Lash Mascara. I just brush it through, and I like to do that before I put in any color, just so it keeps all my brows in place. And then after that, I went in with 2 eyeshadows from my Urban Decay Naked Basics palette. I use the shade Faint all over my brows, and then in the tails of my brows, so at the ends of them, I also use the shade Crave, just so it's a little bit darker on the outer parts. And I'm currently penning this palette, so it's a good way to use up those shadows. And then on my eyes, I prime them first with my Urban Decay Primer Potion, and it's the original one, so it doesn't have any color. And I actually quite like it lately. The way I use it is that I put it on, I tap it in, and I wait for it a little bit to get tacky, and once that happens, it holds on eyeshadow perfectly. Then I reached for my Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. I have a tutorial up with this from last week, which is a more bronzy look, which I can link for you in the cards. But the way I use it is I use the shade Love just in my crease with a big fluffy brush. And I use the brush from Zoeva, which is the 225 Luxe Blender brush. I just took Love and blended it all out, and I also took the Zoeva 227 just to blend away any harsh edges furthermore. Then in the outer corner I used Volatile, which is just a nice cool tone brown. I still used for that the Zoeva 225 brush. On my lid, first I reached for the Sigma E25 brush and used the shade Wild Child. And then after that I also took my finger to pattern a little bit more, just because it gave it a little bit more color and coverage. And as a last step I used a dark purpley pencil from Kiko, and this is the Color Kohl pencil in the shade 11. Unfortunately these don't have names. That's all I've done on my eyes, and now we can move on to the face. Now I would say, you know, think about how you gonna wear your makeup and where you're going. If you're only going to a place where you don't necessarily gonna take off your mask and you're gonna be in your mask the whole time, then, you know, this might be enough. Or maybe you want a tiniest bit of concealer or like foundation in this area and a little bit of highlighter, but you're good to go. You don't necessarily need to put, you know, coverage everywhere around this area, because if you're not going to take your mask down, who's going to see it? No one. What's the point? It's just going to tint your mask. Not a lot of point. Now, if you go somewhere where you need to wear your mask first, but then let's say you're going to take it off because you're going to eating, or I don't know, you go to the cinema and you're going to have popcorn, because in the UK apparently the cinemas are opening, which I don't fully see how that's working, but whatever. So if you want to wear makeup on your whole face, it's fine. Now, these will get makeup on them no matter what you do, but you can sort of be careful and work in light layers. I think that's the key. I would say in this case, even if you're not necessarily used to it, it's quite important to wear a primer, something that's gonna just hold onto your foundation to make sure that it's not going anywhere, because it's gonna be against the fabric the whole time. So I'm gonna go in with the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer and just take a little bit on my nose, on my cheeks, on my chin, and a little bit I like to use on my forehead as well. I find it helps with all the fine lines that I have on there. Now for my foundation, if you have a foundation that you know that is really nice and transfer proof, which usually I find to be the more fuller coverage foundations, go for it. At the moment I just want something nice and light, so I'm gonna go for my Charlotte Tilbury Light Wonder in the shade Too Fair, and this is, I would not necessarily call it transfer proof, but I'm gonna set it with a powder anyway, so it's gonna be fine. Put a little bit on the back of my hand. It's not necessarily the fullest coverage that I own, but that's okay. I have a few breakouts here, but I can always cover that up with concealer if I want to. Just buff it into the skin. Again, make sure you don't apply too much. I'm gonna mainly concentrate it on the outside of my face where I need more coverage, and barely put any in this part because it's going to be covered by a mask, and also I don't have a lot there to cover apart from a little bit of redness, but I need more coverage on the outer portion of my face. And I'm going to use a lot less foundation than what I would normally do. For concealer, I'm going to reach for the Catrice One Drop Coverage Concealer. And again, light layers if you put it on your face like I'm gonna do, just because I have these few breakouts. So I'm gonna take the Real Techniques Crease Prep Brush, but I love this for concealer, and dot a few where I need it, and then a little bit under my eyes. And because of the mask, I would not recommend the, you know, Instagram triangle here, just because, again, mask doesn't necessarily bode well with loads of makeup. You just want to work in light layers. And also, before I blend those, I'm going to let them sit there so that they become a bit thicker, and I can just blend out the outer parts. And I like a stronger eyeshadow look anyway, although this is not that strong for me, but you know, I concentrate this look more my eyes, and that's going to be more the focal point, and also they match a little bit my mask, which was not fully intentional, but I like that. Now, if eyeshadow is not that much your thing, maybe you can put a lot more effort into your eyebrows and make them a bit fluffier than usual. You know, it's a good time to play around, especially if you're still furloughed and at home. You can play around with what you like to do. Okay, now I'm just gonna blend these. And this is the point where I would recommend setting your foundation. Even if you're someone who doesn't normally set it, I would still recommend it, just because, again, you're gonna have fabric there that's gonna touch your face and move around, so I think it could be really beneficial just to make sure that you put that powder on and set it in place. So I'm gonna use the Essence All About Matte powder, and mine is falling apart and there's not a lot left in there. So I'm gonna just take a fluffy brush. This is just from Eco Tools. It's from a travel set, so I'm not too sure what this is, but I quite like this for powder. And first set my under eyes. And usually I would quite happily reach for cream powders, but I don't want too many layers, and I think powder will do a lot better when it comes to holding up the mask. And I was wearing something really similar the other week when I went to see my friend, and you know, it was holding up pretty well. I was just wearing a different foundation. I was wearing my Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation, which is actually really, really good from the drugstore. And I would say concentrate on the areas where you know that your foundation tends to move around a lot anyway. So for me, it usually moves around in my slime lines, smile lines. So I make sure to, you know, press some powder in there, not even just swirl, but press on the sides of my nose and on the bridge of my nose. And also just a little bit of extra attention to all the places where I put more concealer. Now obviously for the lips we're not gonna do anything, but this is a good time to pop on some balm just to make sure that they stay nice and hydrated under that mask. But I would say before you put on the mask, take this off, because there's nothing worse than feeling that your lips are sticky under it. No, no thank you. It's like when you have to sneeze in a mask. I know the whole point is that you can sneeze in it, but oh, do I hate that feeling, I really do. Next, we're gonna move on to bronzer. I'm using my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I'm gonna go fairly light with this. It's not a contour, but I'm gonna just lightly sculpt my face with it. And I usually bring down some here, and also on the sides of my neck, because usually I like to bronze up my face quite a bit. So I'm still gonna put quite a bit here, not so much there, just the smallest amount. This is not a time for dramatic makeup, guys, not with a mask. Because if you put on too much and too many layers, it's just gonna all end up on your mask, and then when you have to take it off, it's gonna look a bit too ridiculous. And go back in with the other brush to blend it. And you can see how there's a little bit more color and definition to this side of my face compared to that one, although the camera is really washing it out. I think you can see. I can see it a little bit through the viewfinder. Why can I not talk lately? I'm gonna even the other side out. In addition to my cheeks, I like to have a tiny bit of bronzer across my nose and the bridge of my nose, just because it's a bit wider there. And also, I just feel like it's a bit more natural. So I'm gonna apply a little bit there, and that part of my nose you can actually see from the mask. Then I'm gonna go back to my eyeshadow and finish up my eyes. So I'm just gonna use the shade Love, which is that pink again, blend it under my eye, and I'm gonna put on some mascara, and then I'm back so we can finish the complexion. I have one or maybe two more steps that I'm gonna talk about, and then that's it. Okay, eyes are done, and at the end I'm just looking down because I want to show you, but I cannot see it. Oh my god. So I used the Kiko liner in my waterline again as well, and used good 2 lashings of mascara. But now I'm gonna move on to my last step, which is gonna be highlighter, and I feel like that's the step that you can still use as, like, you know, you would use it normally. So I'm gonna take this brush, which is the Blank Canvas Cosmetics F28, and I'm gonna dip it into this shade from the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. And usually I like to bring my highlighter all the way to my cheek. If you've been around, I'm pretty sure you know that, but I might just focus it more on the top of the cheekbone and above the brow in sort of like a C shape. And this is a bit more of a natural highlighter, so I can apply more. My nose can get quite oily, so I'm gonna leave that alone. Usually I would put a bit on my Cupid's bow as well, but I feel like there's not much point. No one's gonna miss that there, trust me. Then same on the other side. And then I'm gonna reach for a smaller brush. Now the one I usually use is dirty, so let me find another one. This one is just from a set from Amazon, and I'm gonna use this shade on my brow bone so it's nicely tied together. And also on the inner corners of my eye. I'm really missing it from my Cupid's bow, but I know no one else would even notice. And I usually like to take the brush that I used to blend my eyes. Why can I not find any of the brushes I'm looking for? And just blend them together. And that's it. Now you can always add a setting spray to prolong the wear. I would recommend something that's a bit more mattifying rather than the one that's more glowy, because I don't know, I feel like those are not as long lasting, but I don't have any that's mattifying at the moment, so I'm not gonna do that. But now I can take my pudsey off, possibly take my hair out, although I washed it last night and it's still a bit wet, so sorry about that. And there we go, that's me and my mask. So you can definitely also see my eye, you can see a little bit of highlighter there, just glistening and glowing. But yes, I would definitely say, you know, put a lot of emphasis, that's the word, on your eyes and the brows, because that's the part of your face that you're gonna see the most. And maybe do something fun with your hair, you know, we just have to do what we can. Let me take this off so I can talk to you properly. And obviously I was only wearing it a little bit, but you can see with this way there's no marking on my mask whatsoever. I mean, you have to wash them after wearing anyway, but you know, doesn't mean you want to stain them with makeup, and what's the point of wasting your makeup on it anyway? But that's the video for today. I hope that it was somewhat helpful for you. That's it for now. Let me know, do you wear makeup with your mask or not really? It would be interesting to know, but for now I'm gonna go. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and I have the occasional Saturday videos as well. If you want to see more, please click the subscribe button and ring the bell. It would mean so much to me, and if you like this, please give it a like. But for now I'm gonna go. I hope you have a lovely day, and bye bye!